Now let us talk about the drawback of Regulating Act 1773. We have recently discussed about the Regulating Act of 1773, but there is some defect in this act. What are these? Let us discuss. I told you the topmost post in the administration of British India was Governor General of Bengal. Fine. Although it was the topmost post, but this person was not as strong. This person was weak. Why? Politically he was weak. How I can say that this person was politically weak? Because he unable to pass a law or act alone. Suppose he want to pass a law, so he need support of the Executive Council. So there is Executive Council, and how many members are there in the Executive Council? So there are 4 members in the Executive Council and 1 vote is of Governor General of Bengal. So can I say total number of vote is 5? So total number of vote is 5. Suppose Governor General of Bengal wants to pass a law, so he need minimum 3 vote including his vote. So can I say to pass a law, minimum vote required is 3. So that's why politically I can say that Governor General of Bengal was weak, because alone he cannot or unable to pass a law. There is a requirement of another 2-member vote to pass a law. Fine. I think first thing is clear. Now second, we have recently discussed that the Bombay Presidency Governor is going to report the Governor General of Bengal, and the Madras Presidency Governor is going to report to the Governor General of Bengal. Why? Because Governor General of Bengal is supreme in the British India. Now, but there is one main confusion or one problem. What is the problem? The problem is that this Governor of Bombay Presidency can make a law with the help of Executive Council. Agree? With the help of Executive Council. Similarly, this Madras Presidency Governor can make a law with the help of Executive Council, and you know very well the Governor General of Bengal can also make a law with the help of Executive Council. With the help of Executive Council. So all 3 can make a law, but there is a problem. What is the problem? The problem is that subjects or matters. The problem is that subjects or matters are not clearly defined. Sir, what is the meaning of this? For example, on water, sanitation, who is going to make a law? Whether the Governor General of Bengal is going to make a law, or the Bombay Presidency Governor or this Presidency Governor is going to make a law. So there was a no clear-cut demarcation. So it was a very big confusion. Clear? Now, another conflict occurs between the Governor General of Bengal and the Supreme Court. I told you Governor General of Bengal was politically weak. Why he was politically weak or having less power? Because alone he cannot pass any law. He required minimum 2 vote from the Executive Council. Suppose he is able to pass a law, then what's the problem? Problem is the Supreme Court. Supreme Court is not registering or not allowed to implement the law. So there is a always conflict between the Supreme Court and the Governor General of Bengal. That time Governor General of Bengal was Warren Hastings, and who was the Supreme Court Chief Justice? That is the Elijah Impey. Actually, according to Regulating Act 1773, Supreme Court was established in Calcutta, consisting of 1 Chief Justice plus 3 other judges. And who was the Chief Justice that time? Elijah Impey. So there was a clash, always clash. Now, you will be surprising that Governor General of Bengal is the topmost post. First thing. Second, he is a politically weak person. Why politically weak person? Because unable to pass law alone. Third problem is that suppose with the help of the Executive Council, he managed to pass a law. What's the problem? Problem is the Supreme Court. So Supreme Court is not allowed to register. Now what happens? Warren Hastings approached to the Court of Director. He approached to the Court of Director, which was 24 in numbers. So this Court of Director, they discussed this thing with the British government. And what British government did that time? They make one committee, and that committee give the report and suggestions, and that was with the help of that report, one bill was introduced in the House of Commons, and that was passed. And that act is known as the Act of the Settlement 1781, and another act which came later known as the Pitt's India Act 1784. So what is the solution? Solution is these two acts. One is the Act of Settlement 1781, Act of Settlement 1781, and after few years another act came into the picture, that is the Pitt's India Act 1784. So let me first discuss the first act. After that I am going to discuss the Pitt's India Act 1784. Now, as the name suggests, Act of Settlement 1781. This question has been asked so many times in the state PCS, so many times. What was the exact question? The exact question is that to remove the defects of the Regulating Act 1773, to remove the defect of the Regulating Act 1773, which act was passed? Remember, my dear friend, the first answer goes to the Act of Settlement 1781. Suppose this is not in the options, so you will definitely find Amending Act of 1781. So second is this. Suppose this is not in option and this is not in option, my dear friend, you will definitely find the Declaratory Act 1781. So whether you say Declaratory Act, whether you say Amending Act, or whether you say Act of Settlement 1781, all three are same. And another important one is date. The date is 5th July 1781. Date is 5th July 1781. Agree? Now, let me read this. Let me read this statement for you. Now, the Act of Settlement was an amending Act of 1781, which was passed by the British Parliament. I told you. What is the date? Date is 5th July 1781. To remove the defect of the Regulating Act 1773, it is also known as Declaratory Act 1781. Now, according to this act, what will happen? Jurisdiction is decided. So, Supreme Court, this is your jurisdiction. Governor General Bengal, this is your jurisdiction. And what are this jurisdiction? Revenue matter has been given to the Governor General of Bengal, and it is clearly told to the Supreme Court, please do not interfere with the matters of revenue. Now, what are the matters on which Supreme Court can deal? They told in India there are Muslims, there are Hindus. So you have to take care of the personal laws of the Hindu, Muslim and the other peoples. So you have to take care of that laws. Fine. So that's why I write here to maintain and protect the laws and customs of the native people. Fine. I think up to here you do not have any doubt. Now let us talk about the Pitt's India Act, which is the another important act. Now, remember this Pitt's India Act is also called by the name of East India Act 1784. The story starts with a young person known as William Pitt. Now, he entered in the British Parliament at the age of 21 years. In which year? In 1780. And after few years, that is in 1783, he became the youngest Prime Minister of Britain. That's why this act is called by the names of Pitt's India Act, and the another name is East India Act 1784. So both acts are same. Now, let us discuss what are the changes after the Pitt's India Act. The first thing is, Monopoly of trade. Is there any change in the monopoly of trade? No, there is no change. Why there is no change? Because before coming to this act, the monopoly was of East India Company, and now also the monopoly is of the East India Company. So there is a no change. So East India Company is having the monopoly. Now what about the control of company? Yes. Now here is a change. Now if I am talking about the affairs, so I can divide the affairs in two categories. One is known as the commercial affairs and second is the political affairs. So if I am talking about the one is your commercial affairs. One is commercial affairs and second is political affairs. Second is political affairs. Now what happens before coming to Pitt's India Act? This commercial affairs and political affairs both are dealt by the Court of Directors, which was 24 in number. But now this time there is a little change. And what is the change, my dear friend? This commercial affairs will be dealt by Court of Directors. Dealt by Court of Directors, which was 24 in number. So there is a no change in the number. Sir, what about the political affairs? Yes, political affairs will be now dealt by the BOC, that is Board of Control. That is Board of Control, which was 6 in number. Sir, what is Board of Control? Board of Control was a purely government body. And who is the head? Head is the Secretary of the State. Not only the political affairs, in fact civil affairs, in fact the military affairs, all these will be dealt by the Board of Control, which was 6 in number. So I think it is clear. Commercial affair will be dealt by Court of Directors and political affairs will be dealt by the Board of Control. Fine. Now let us back to this slide. So I have discussed monopoly of trade. I have discussed the control of company. Now let us come to the administration. Is there any change? Yes. This Pitt's India Act was bring to make one person stronger in the British India, and that person was nothing but the Governor General of Bengal. Although the Governor General of Bengal, the post was very high, but what is the problem? He was very politically weak. He unable to pass law alone. So what is the change here? The change is that if I am talking about the central level, so you know very well at central level who is more powerful. Previously it was Governor General of Bengal. It was Governor General of Bengal. But what is the main problem? Governor General of Bengal alone cannot pass a bill. There is a requirement of support of members of Executive Council. Member of Executive Councils. Now if you remember, previously there are 4 members in the Executive Council. There was 4 members in the Executive Council, but now according to Pitt's India Act, Executive Council member decreased to 3. So can I say 1 vote is of Governor General of Bengal and 3 vote is of Executive Council. And another important change has been done to make this Governor General of Bengal to make strong. Veto power has been given. Veto power. What is the meaning of veto power? We will discuss. But now suppose Governor General of Bengal want to pass a bill. He need support of only one member. How? Because total number of vote is 4. Total number of vote is now 4. 1 vote of Governor General of Bengal and 3 are this vote. Suppose 1 member from the Executive Council is giving support to the Governor General of Bengal, then what will happen? There is a tie. 2 by 2. There is a tie. And because according to Pitt's India Act, this Governor General of Bengal is having the veto power. So tie can be break. Fine. So what will happen? If Governor General of Bengal wants that my bill should be passed, he need only one member support from the executive council. Agree? So can I say what will happen in the administration at the central level? This is going to be happen. So basically now the Governor General of Bengal becomes stronger. Agree? I think up to here you do not have any doubt. So this is going to be happen at the central level. Now you are having one doubt, sir. What about the provincial level? What will happen in the Bombay presidency? What will happen in the Madras presidency? You know very well. Whether I am talking about the Madras presidency or whether I am talking about the Bombay presidency. Now, in both the presidency, Bombay as well as Madras, there is governor plus both are having the executive council. And same changes happens at the provincial level. So there are 3 members in the executive council. Are you getting a point? Whatever happens at the central level, same thing happen at the provincial level. Fine. So members will be 3 in the Madras presidency or Bombay presidency. Agree? Now let us back to this slide. So I have discussed monopoly of trade, control of company, administration. Now let me talk about the revenue. Before coming to the Pitt's India Act, whatever the sources of revenue, it will remain same. Only the name has been changed. Previously what will happen? East India Company is occupying some territory. So that is called by the name of East India Company. Possession territories. Now the name has been changed. After the Pitt's India Act, the name become British. Possession territory. British possession territory. Fine, only little change. This East India Company is changed by the British possession territory. Fine. So I have discussed this Pitt's India Act in detail. Remember my dear friend, Pitt's India Act is also called by the name of East India Act. So I have discussed the monopoly, control of company, administration at the central level, and what is going to be happen at the provincial level, and lastly the revenue. Fine. So I hope this topic is very much clear to you.